All right, here today we're doing another comparison video between the different versions of the Page, the V2 Page, the Page TS, and including the Mason since it's similar and based off of Page. And I'm also putting in front, for comparison purposes, a clone of a Naga Viper silicon treble booster. The amp we're playing through today is a 1965 Blackface Fender Showman amp, and it's going into 112 speaker cabinet with a Jensen Tornado Classic 100. The guitar we're playing today is this Partscaster Warmoth 24-inch scale, black limbo body, roasted maple neck, rosewood fretboard. We have a Seymour Duncan SH14 Custom 5 in the bridge position, humbucker, and then the neck, we have a humbucker-sized P90. It's a GFS Mean 90. And so there we go. We'll set this up and do some comparisons. I was asked to do another comparison video between the Page and Page TS. And I forgot to turn on, I have another audio recording I'm going to use here just for comparison purposes. If I'm able to add the audio for this to the video, I may or may not do that, but I have that on the side here because the microphone on the iPhone can be pretty homogeneous sounding. Just always sounds good, pretty much. So here we go. Here's the clean tone. I don't have any reverb, no effects. We're going straight into the Showman, and here's the clean tone on the neck pickup. I'm not even going to do the middle position. I'm just going to do neck P90 and bridge humbucker. Here's the bridge humbucker clean. Neck clean, humbucker. I'm going to start out these with the neck pickup, and then I might go back and forth. All right. So let's start with the classic Page, the V2 Page here. This is a setting I use quite often. So here we'll go clean. You can hear when you dig in, you get some hair, and when you play softly, it's not too dirty. That's the basic setting that I've been using. I have the lows switched to the least amount of lows, the highs switched to the least amount of highs. And now I'll go to the Page TS, set how I usually use it here. Let's compare those two. My recorder. Hold on, let me fix that. Okay, sorry about that. I wonder if I should start over. No, I'm just gonna go with it. Okay, so here we go. Don't worry, it's the other recorder that was clipping. The iPhone recorder is probably fine. So here we go. Page, V2 Page. Page TS. Of course, I have them set differently, and so what I can try and do here is try and dial the Page TS in to sound as close to the Page as possible. And usually the best way to do that is with the more button is an EQ lift. And the amount it lifts is only the amount that you set the more knob. So if you have the more knob all the way up, it supposedly takes the EQ, the treble, middle, bass out of the circuit entirely. If you have this down a bit, it blends in the treble, middle, bass with the EQ lift. So also the EQ lift adds quite a bit of a boost. So here we have just the Page TS, and then with the boost, or with the more, quite a lot of a boost, and it adds some mids there. I will mention that the lows switch and the highs switch are still active with the EQ lift. It just takes these knobs out. The lows and highs switches are still active, and I have those all the way down like I do on my Page. With this black face Fender Showman head with the big transformers, it has plenty of bass and treble as is. So boosting that doesn't really, boosting the treble and bass is a bit much. So here, here's the lows in the middle position, lows in the boosted position. I probably don't need to go all the way down, actually. Here's the highs and the lowest position, middle position, and the topmost position is the preamp mode. It's going to be super trebly. Woo! Way too much treble. To the Page, let's I'll go through the highs and lows toggles on this too. So it only has two positions. That's the full bass. This is attenuated bass. Here's the attenuated highs, and here's the full highs. Ooh, that's quite nice. Let's go through the gain ranges on these. Also, here I'll go through the tone range first. With the tone, isn't it? Because it's letting all the treble through. The gain, of course, no gain, you're not going to get volume. Let's see how clean. That's pretty much unity. Nice clean sweetener there. It's a little bit of a boost. Of course, you can get some overdrive out of this. over noon. Back to the page TS. But the highs all the way down. So let me try and dial it in to be as close to the page as possible. And usually to do that, do the EQ lift. I'm gonna have to attenuate the volume too, because the EQ lift adds volume. When this more button is on, but that's off, the pedal's still off. This is whether the pedal's on or off. The more is just whether the more is engaged or not. So when you see that on and that off, the pedal's still off. Right? But so that's pretty close. Of course, these knobs aren't doing anything because the more is fully engaged. See how much gain we can get on this. Crank it. That's with the gain maxed on both of them. It seems like the Page TS has a little bit more gain. Okay, let's bring this back to where my normal setting is, and so let's dial back this this EQ lift, and actually let's set the EQ to a specific setting. Let's put the EQ lift in the middle there. Also, let me roll down my volume a little bit. My volume's on 10, so. Ooh, I have a scratchy pot. Sorry about that. Let's go back to without the EQ left. Let's see how extreme we can get with these treble middle bass. So we'll put these to center to start with. We have these to center. We'll roll down the treble all the way. Actually, I'm going to use one hand to... Turn on the highs switch on the page V2 page, you get more mids. That's why I usually have that down. To bring the treble up. Okay, what about this poor Mason that's been neglected? Go through the gain range on this. The gain is on full now. compressed and thicker and more mid-rangey than the Page. So I think most mid-range, most mid-range, mid-range, and least mid-range. Even with this more all the way on, which is the most mid-range it gets. And let's turn the highs down, and let's see. I think that shows pretty clearly how much mid-range is, most, middle, and least. Even we go back to here and not lift the EQ stack, put the mid-range all the way up. We'll turn the bass and treble down a little bit. Highs switch down, even lows switch down. Let's see how much mids we can get out of this. Is that more mids than this? The most mids you can get is with the more engaged and fully more. I'm gonna make the volume even here though. Now I'll go to the Page. Still more mids in this than this at its highest mids, or the most amount of mids. Still, this has a lot of flexibility. This has more mids, and then this has even more mids still. So let's go through again. That is pretty mid-rangey. So it's pretty similar now. I think that's as close as you can dial in the Page TS to the V2 Page, right? This setting, at least in my setup right now with these pickups and this amp. The Mason has more gain. And let's go through the controls on the Mason. If the Mason is first in line, so this is true bypass, so it's first in line right now. You turn the lows below 10 o'clock, it starts acting kind of like a treble booster with the resonant peak, affecting the resonant peak of your pickups. So if I roll this down, it's also going to turn down the volume though, so I'm going to have to compensate. Hear that? It's kind of honky, like cocked wah. 10 o'clock pretty much. Once you bring it up, it becomes more like a full range, kind of like it can act similar as a treble booster, and we'll go there in a minute. So, but if you bring the lows back up, it's going to be more full range. And it's going to have still more mid-range than the others. Excuse me. I usually use my Mason with the gain all the way up, lows most of the way up, highs a little bit boosted, like this. This is at my normal setting. It's just really thick and chewy. It's less articulate, it's more compressed, but it's got this fatness to it. It sounds really great in the humbucker position. I haven't touched the humbucker yet. That is humbucker now, by the way. Another thing I like to do is to use this as kind of like a first level overdrive. And then add this for more gain. Oh, wait, but normally not in this setting. So normally, well, let's see. Normally when I do that, I don't have that lifted. I have it more like, and I wouldn't have that setting. I would be more like this, actually. This is the setting I have default for this pedal. Compared to, but when you stack them like this, now we're going to be like, humbucker back to neck. Wow, the Mason almost sounds like those stacked. Super fat. So let's bring the gain down. Let's go back to Mason. Back to humbucker. Let's do the tone range here. Setting, the Page is more mid-rangey, it seems. Let's go through what they sound like boosted with the treble booster. I'm going to put this back in the neck position. So I'm actually going to turn this with the lows a little bit lower. All right, let's start with the Page, and then this is let's see, this is boost or volume, this is range or like EQ, and this is heat or drive, right? This is my go-to setting, but here we go. Here's the Page, V2 Page by itself, neck position. Of course it adds. You call it a treble booster, it should be like called a mid-range booster, really. Treble booster is really nice. They all are. Let's try this with the. Mason can mimic the Naga Viper. If I set the gain lower, the volume higher, the lows down like this, this is going to be, I think this is going to be pretty similar. So let's go back to the pages. Because you want to use a treble booster into something that's dirty. It's going to something super clean like the Showman is. Well, here, I'll show you. Oh, it's not bad, actually. But it's really for pushing something that's already dirty. Like. Here it's quite similar to the Naga Viper. Treble booster duties. I actually prefer this as a treble booster, and I prefer this as an overdrive. But let's hear the Mason pushing the Page and the Page TS. Compare those two. Let's give it a little bit more juice there. Okay, well, that was pretty exhaustive. 40 minutes. Exhausting, but fun. All right, so I think that pretty much covers most of it. Hopefully I've answered the questions that the requester has asked, which was to compare these Page and Page TS, and especially to focus on the more EQ lift being fully lifted. Hopefully I covered enough of that. Really what's revealing here is that the Page with the Naga Viper is just super killer. And here's with the humbucker. It goes from edge of breakup to total rock and roll, right? My ears need a break. Super juicy tones though. So there you have it. Well, that's not fair. I'm back on the neck pickup, by the way. Bridge. Let's do crazy stuff. Bridge. That should give you an idea of the difference between the Page, Page TS, and the Mason. Hope it's helpful. 46 minutes.